Good morning, guys. As you can see, I'm not at home. I'm in France. I'm close to Verdun, where a famous battle found place in World War One. And last night was New Year's Eve. All the best wishes to you guys. Hope 2025 will be a better year than 2024. Um, and the people here in this village were really enthusiastic about fireworks. So it actually sounded like a battlefield. The reason I'm actually recording this video is because I have recorded every single train trip that I took in 2024. I want to show you guys some statistics if you are into that. If not, don't waste your time. Just click off, do something better with your time. So website I use is called treinposities.nl, literally in English train positions. It's a great website if you want to track the live location of every passenger train in the Netherlands. It has the statistics of every single station, and train in time. Like I can see what this train is doing, where it's going, with what speed, how busy it is, and that sort of stuff. It's really interesting. I highly recommend checking it out. It has an English version. Um, but if we go to my trips, I actually recorded every single trip I did in 2024. These ones are some special things that I did, but starting from January 6th, I've recorded every single train trip. And even the small ones, like the university campus back home. And also like really simple ones, like I've been to Zaandam just one. Oh, I've been to Alkmaar. When I had a small trip, I had to go home from Duivendrecht back home via Schiphol. Even the small ones and of course the big ones. And it has a statistics page with some very interesting statistics. So let's go over them. And if I filter on 2024, I actually have a map with everywhere I've been in 2024. You can see I've been to Brussels, previous video. Well, there's a huge line going to Berlin. I've been to Berlin, yes. Um, But also to note, in the Netherlands, you can see I actually done almost everywhere in the Netherlands I've been. Literally everywhere. Video of that coming soon. So yeah, that's really interesting. And I can also click on every dot and see when I visited that station. Like Arnhem, I visited 5 times. And I can also see the dates. Zwolle, I visited 4 times. Rotterdam, oh that's black. Central Station, I've been there many times. So yeah, it's really interesting to look back on this map and admire what I've done this year. And the total traveled in 2024 in the Netherlands by train is 12,493 kilometers, which is a lot actually, isn't it? Total time in trains 7 days, 6 hours and 38 minutes. It's cold. And the total delays I've got were 12 hours and 31 minutes in total. So yeah, that's interesting. This one is with what train types I've been to the most in 2024. Because I started studying, I go to the campus every day by train. The train type every time is the SNG, and then of course the majority of what I've done in 2024. Next one is the most popular in a city in the Netherlands, the double deckers, the VRM units. Then comes a local train, then a in the city train, then a Stad Flirt train, also local, then more local, and in the city, new intercity. These ones are the old high speed trains. This is the new high speed train. I have no idea what the SNGT is. And so many more. But this is the total amount of times I've been on trains. But what trains types have I been to in terms of kilometers? Well, I've traveled the most amount of kilometers with the VRM units. Well, obvious because they are in the cities, so I travel a lot of kilometers with them. 3,449 kilometers to be exact. That's a lot. Then comes SNG because I just travel a lot with them. Then comes Intercity, local. The Siemens Vectron is the locomotive used on the Intercity going to Berlin. So I've been to Berlin, and that's of course a major thing. That it's 600 plus kilometers going to Berlin, so of course it's going to make it on in this list. Another Intercity, another Intercity. The Stade de Flirt is on there, which is interesting. Then I can actually see what specific train I've been to the most. Apparently, I've ridden the SNG 2762 the most, 5 times. And this website actually records what I've done. So if we go here and go to the U page, by the way, you can see all the information of this trip, of this train, like the speed, the speed that it had the past 2 hours. Well, if I go to the U page, I can actually see what I've done when did I travel with this train. I can see that twice I've been used it to go to university, going from university home. Then comes a random one. Then going to the airport, and then just going one stop, 3 kilometers to Sloterdijk. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's just go back. Then comes a VRM unit, 4 times. Then the new Intercity, also 4 times. And then other VRM units and SNGs. This, I believe, is an old high-speed train that I've ridden 3 times, apparently. But the train that I use the most to make the most amount of kilometers is a Vectron. That's the train that, like I said, it's a locomotive going to Berlin, 600 plus kilometers. Of course, it's here. No other train did I travel more than the locomotive going to Berlin. Then comes, I believe that's again the Intercity going to the old high-speed trains going to Brussels. Then VRM units, 3. They're really close to each other, but barely. The 8653 is the champion. I travel with that the most. Then comes new Intercities, VRM, and ICMs. Then the section of track that I travel the most, well, of course, number 1 is going to my campus, university campus. Then comes the airport, which is interesting. Then comes Central Station to my local stop. Then comes just Central Station to Sloterdijk. Then Central Station to university campus. And then Rotterdam. My most used section of track is the high speed line, 10 times between Rotterdam and Schiphol, which is interesting. These are the stations I have gotten on trains the most. So number 1 is of course my local stop. Then comes Amsterdam Central Station. Then comes the airport. Then comes my campus, the university campus. And then comes Rotterdam, 18 times. I've gotten on trains in Rotterdam 18 times, which I believe is rather huge. And then, also a station that I got on a lot is Utrecht Central Station, Arnhem Central Station, Zwolle, and then Zaandam. Zaandam? Really? That's really unexpected. The station that I got off the most, so of course, my local stop, of course. Then the airport, Central Station, the university campus, Sloterdijk, and then Rotterdam, Utrecht, Amsterdam Zuid, South Station, and then again Arnhem. So we have seen how much I have traveled on specific trains, but now let's see how many times I've traveled on train services. The top 2 is of course the train going to from my local stop to university. That's of course number 1. But then comes the 3700. And I looked it up. It's actually the intercity going from Schiphol to Utrecht to Venlo in the south, which is really, really interesting. But these are again just how much I've traveled, but not the amount of kilometers I've traveled with. That's the amount of kilometers is right here. Number one is of course the city going to Berlin. Of course, 745 kilometers. But then comes the 3700 series, 700 kilometers in total, which is huge. Then comes the 9200, which is the intercity going to Brussels, which is also a lot, so almost 600 kilometers. These are the local trains going to university campus and back, and some other like random trains, which is really interesting. Now the delays. Almost 50% of the train trips I took had no delays at all, but amusingly, also almost 50%, I had delays between 1 and 4 minutes, which is still alright. But 7% of the time, I had a delay between 5 and 14 minutes. 5 train trips that I took had a delay between 15 and 29 minutes. And then I had 3 trips in 2024 that had a delay of more than 30 minutes. Here's more in more detail, but I had no train trip that had a delay more than an hour, which is great. And that is just the Netherlands. I actually traveled way more. In the summer of 2024, I actually went on Interrail with 3 other friends, which was great. The stats are on my phone, which I'm recording with. So on my right, you're gonna see a beautiful map on everything that I've done in the summer. It's like the entire Europe I've done in 6 weeks. Maybe too fast, I have no idea, but I had a lot of fun. Then, like a scroll of how many trains I took. There you go. And then how much I've traveled with Interrail, which I believe is around 1200 kilometers, which is almost the same as I've done in the Netherlands. And the longest train trip that I had is, I believe, between Vienna, Austria, and Romania. I've got off at a stop called Sighișoara, where Vlad Dracula actually comes from. In total, how much I've traveled in 2024? Well, if we add up the Netherlands with the Interrail minus the overlapping, like the train trip to Berlin I've used the Interrail with, so I won't be counting that twice. With some other train trips that I actually did not record, like some train trips in Belgium, that I used a normal Belgian ticket, so I did not use Interrail. So count separately. The entire 2024, I've traveled this amount of kilometers, which is huge. Like, it's like almost 50% of going around the world, solely by trains. That's a lot, actually. Jesus fucking Christ. That was my 2024. To be honest, I want to be as honest as possible with you guys. I had an amazing 2024. I don't want to brag or anything, but I just had a fucking great year. I went on the best vacation I had with 3 other friends, going interrailing through the entire Europe. After summer, I started studying. Finally, new chapter of my life, and I also passed my driver's exam. So yeah, that was my 2024. I have way more free time than ever because university allows me to have more free time. So more time on videos. Hopefully that means more content. I will. That tram video, the tram extension video, actually gave a push to my channel that I never expected. It doubled my subscribers. Got a comment from Not Just Bikes. Thank you again. That was really nice of him. Yeah. I'll see what I'll do 2025. And I hope you're all there to see it. Thank you guys. Let's make an amazing 2025. Now let's go inside. I'm fucking freezing. Holy shit. Oh my god.
It's like -2 degrees outside, and this is day 2.
So I'm like outside for 40 minutes almost. Yeah.